Reaction is fast. Response is slow. Reaction is instinct. Response is discipline. One belongs to the body. The other belongs to the mind. Ask yourself, which one rules you? Most people live as if they have no choice. An impulse rises. A word is spoken. An action follows. They call it being honest or being real. But honesty without discipline is only surrender. The Stoics drew a sharp line. They did not aim to erase feeling. They aimed to master it. They knew, between stimulus and action, there is space. In that space lies freedom. The freedom to choose not to be dragged. The freedom to remain still, even when the world provokes. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Notice his clarity. He does not say you have power over outcomes. He does not say you have power over other people. He says, over your mind, that is enough. Imagine the weight of those words. If your peace depends on the next email, you are a slave. If your calm depends on someone's praise, you are weak. If your choices are chained to reflex, then every stranger owns you. The Stoic path is different. It is the training of pause, the cultivation of a mind that can observe without being carried away, a mind that chooses when to act and how. This training is not abstract. It is not found only in books. It is found in the pause before anger, in the silence before judgment, in the breath before speech. Reaction is easy. Response is hard. That is why most people never attempt it. They live tossed by emotion, like a ship without anchor. They move fast, but they move without direction. The Stoic chooses another way. He learns to anchor in reason. He does not rush to answer every provocation. He does not hurry to justify himself. He holds the mind steady, like a mountain that does not tremble when winds blow. This is the work before us, not to erase what we feel, not to pretend we are stone, but to see clearly, to pause, to choose. So as you listen, keep one question alive. In the next storm that comes to you, will you simply react, or will you respond? Reaction is the spark that jumps before you even notice. It is the flash of anger, the rush of fear, the careless word that escapes your lips before you realize the cost. Reaction is fast, unconscious. It is your body moving before the mind has time to decide. That speed once kept humans alive. In the wild, hesitation could mean death. But in modern life, that same speed often leaves behind regret. Think of the arguments you have lost not because you were wrong, but because you reacted too soon. Think of the emails you wish you never sent. Think of the decisions made in heat, only to cool into shame. This is the nature of reaction. It is powerful, but it rarely builds anything lasting. Response is different. Response is the pause. It is the breath that creates space between impulse and choice. It is slower, but it is not weak. It is measured. It is deliberate. Response carries the weight of awareness. It asks, what is within my control here? What is not? This is the discipline of reason. It does not silence feeling. It gives feeling its place, but refuses to hand it the throne. The Stoics knew, the man who cannot pause is the man who cannot rule himself. Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Notice his word, react. He reminds us that events are indifferent. It is our reaction that shapes our experience of them. A harsh word is just sound, until your reaction turns it into pain. A delay in traffic is just time, until your reaction transforms it into anger. The event is neutral. You are not. This is the heart of the distinction. Reaction is natural. Response is cultivated. Reaction is reflex. Response is mastery. Not every reaction is wrong. Some are useful, even necessary. But when reaction rules unchecked, you are no longer free. You become a servant to every trigger, a puppet pulled by every string. The Stoic seeks another path. Not the erasure of impulse, but the training of impulse. Not the denial of emotion, but its governance. In this lies strength. In this lies freedom. So ask yourself, will I live as one who reacts, always at the mercy of what strikes me? Or will I train to respond, steady and deliberate, regardless of what comes? Why we default to reacting? Why do we react so quickly? Why is it so hard to pause? The answer begins in the body. Deep in the brain lies the amygdala, a small cluster of cells older than reason. Its task is survival. When danger appears, the amygdala fires before thought can form. It sends signals through the body. Adrenaline surges. Muscles tighten. The heart races. This reaction once saved our ancestors. In the forest, a rustle in the dark could mean a predator. There was no time to debate. Speed kept them alive. But survival then is not survival now. The jungle has changed. The predators are gone. Yet the amygdala fires as if we still live among them. Today, the triggers are different. A harsh email, a delayed flight, a rude driver on the freeway. None of these threaten your life. Yet the body reacts as if they do. This is the mismatch of modern life. We inherit ancient reflexes. But we live in a world where those reflexes cause more harm than good. Anger does not slay the enemy. It damages the relationship. Fear does not save you from the beast. It paralyzes you before an opportunity. Impulsive words do not protect your tribe. They fracture trust in your workplace, in your home. The Stoics saw this slavery clearly. They called it the tyranny of passion. Not passion as joy, but passion as loss of control. The man who cannot govern his first impulse is not free. He belongs to whatever provokes him. Epictetus warned, "When we are offended, let us remember, it is not he who reviles us, but our opinion about the reviling that offends us." He reminds us, the event is neutral. The sting lies in how quickly we surrender to it. Modern life makes this surrender constant. Deadlines press. Phones vibrate. Traffic snarls. News headlines scream. Workplaces reward speed, not reflection. Social media amplifies outrage, not reason. The environment is designed to keep you reacting. Every notification pulls the string. Every pressure stirs the old amygdala, and most people dance to the tune without knowing. In America, this is the rhythm of daily life. Commutes filled with horns and tempers. Workdays crowded with demands. Evenings distracted by screens. The cycle leaves little space for silence, little space for thought. So, reaction becomes the default. And response, the careful, reasoned choice, feels unnatural. But unnatural does not mean impossible. It means it must be trained. The Stoic path is this training. It is the refusal to let biology or society dictate your mind. It is the art of creating space, even in a world that crowds it out. So understand this truth. Your impulse is ancient. Your challenge is modern. You cannot erase the reflex. You can only learn to meet it with discipline. This is why the Stoics speak not of removing passion, but of mastering it. Because freedom is not found in the first feeling, freedom is found in what you choose to do with it. The Stoic discipline of the pause. The difference between reaction and response is small in time, but vast in consequence. It can be measured in seconds. Yet those seconds are where a life is shaped. The Stoics trained themselves to master this space. They called it discipline. We can call it the practice of the pause. It has 4 steps. Simple to describe, difficult to live. Step 1, awareness. Notice the storm the moment it rises. The tightening of your jaw, the rush of heat in your chest, the restless tapping of your foot. These are the signals. If you see them early, you can act with reason. If you miss them, they will act for you. Awareness is not judgment. It is simply the quiet recognition. Here comes anger. Here comes fear. Here comes desire. Marcus Aurelius urged himself to wake each morning, knowing he would meet the selfish, the rude, the ungrateful. By expecting the storm, he trained awareness before it struck. So when it came, he was not surprised. Step 2. The pause. Once aware, do not move too quickly. The body urges you to strike, to shout, to answer at once. Refuse it. Hold the silence. Take one breath. Then another. Let the wave rise. Let it pass. Seneca wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay. Delay is not weakness. It is strength disguised as stillness. Think of fire. It burns most fiercely when fed at once. Starve it for a moment, and it begins to die. So it is with passion. Pause, and you rob it of fuel." Step 3. Reason. When the flame has cooled, invite reason to speak. Ask, "Is this within my control?" If it is not, release it. No amount of anger will change the weather. No amount of fear will alter fate. Why then should you poison yourself with what you cannot command? If it is within your control, ask again, what action serves my highest values here? Not what feels good. Not what strikes back. But what preserves my character? What preserves my peace? This question is the dividing line. It separates the Stoic from the crowd. For the crowd moves by impulse. The Stoic moves by principle. Step 4. Choice. Now act. Not because emotion drove you, but because reason guided you. Not because you had to, but because you chose to. This is the final step, and the hardest. To move with intention. To carry yourself as one who is free. Remember, freedom is not doing whatever you feel. Freedom is the ability to resist what you feel until you decide what is right. Think of the man who insults you. Reaction says, strike back. Response says, remain silent or answer calmly, depending on what serves the moment. Think of the delay that ruins your plans. Reaction says, rage. Response says, adjust, adapt, carry on. These steps do not erase difficulty. They train you to meet it without losing yourself. Awareness, pause, reason, choice. Practice them once, and you will see the difference. Practice them daily, and they become a habit. A new reflex, stronger than the old one. The Stoic discipline of the pause is not about perfection. You will fail. You will still react at times. But each time you succeed, you prove to yourself that you are not a puppet. You are a man or woman of agency. And over time, those small victories add up. You become calmer, clearer, harder to shake. Not because the world has changed, but because you have. The pause is your weapon. The pause is your freedom. The pause is your training ground for a life of reason. So hold it. Use it. Let silence be your strength. Training the mind. Practical exercises. Philosophy is not words on a page. It is practice. Without practice, Stoicism is only theory. With practice, it becomes strength. The Stoics gave us tools. Simple, direct, not made for classrooms, but for daily life. 5 practices train the mind to respond, not react. First, morning meditation. Each day begins with uncertainty. You cannot control what will come. Illness, delay, insults, unexpected turns. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself each morning that he would meet selfish, rude, and ungrateful people. Why? So that when they appeared, he was not shocked. The morning meditation is not for comfort. It is for readiness. Sit in silence. Tell yourself, the world will test me today, but my mind will remain calm. Begin the day with this vow, and you carry armor into the hours ahead. Second, journaling. At day's end, reflect. Ask, where did I lose control? Where did I hold it? Write without excuse. Did you snap in anger? Did you rush to judgment? Did you choose silence when silence was strength? The page does not judge. It records. From record comes awareness. From awareness comes growth. Seneca wrote letters to himself as much as to others. Journaling is that same letter, an honest account of how you trained your mind today. Third, negative visualization. Imagine what could go wrong, not to despair, but to prepare. Picture losing the job you rely on. Picture the loved one falling ill. Picture plans collapsing. This is not pessimism. It is strengthening. If you can see loss in the mind, you are less shaken when it arrives in life. Epictetus said, "When you kiss your child, whisper that he may not be here tomorrow." He did not mean to love less. He meant to love more wisely, without illusion of permanence. By visualizing hardship, you rehearse resilience. Fourth, voluntary discomfort. Choose difficulty before it chooses you. Sleep without the pillow. Walk when you could drive. Fast for a meal. Step into the cold. Why? Because luxury weakens. Comfort dulls the edge. Seneca practiced sleeping on the floor and wearing coarse clothes so that fortune could never terrify him with loss. If you have tasted discomfort, you fear it less. When hardship comes uninvited, it will find you ready. Fifth, the pause ritual. This is the simplest, yet the hardest. Before you speak, pause for 3 seconds. Before you decide, pause for 3 breaths. In that pause, ask, what response serves my values? 3 seconds can save a friendship. 3 breaths can protect a career. The pause ritual is training in miniature. Each pause strengthens the gap between impulse and choice. Practice it enough, and the gap becomes natural. Together, these practices form a discipline. Morning meditation sets the tone. Journaling closes the day. Negative visualization prepares the mind. Voluntary discomfort strengthens the body and will. The pause ritual ties them all together, moment by moment. None of these require wealth. None require special skill. Only commitment. Only honesty. Training the mind is not done once. It is done daily. Like sharpening a blade or tending a fire. The work is never finished, but the reward is constant. Through practice, the instinct to react grows weaker. The habit to respond grows stronger. And little by little, you become the kind of person storms cannot shake. Philosophy without practice is a statue. Still, cold, unmoving. Philosophy with practice is a man alive. Calm, disciplined, free. The rewards of responding. What happens when you learn to respond instead of react? The rewards are not loud. They are quiet. But they are profound. First, you become the master of yourself. No longer a prisoner of anger. No longer chained to fear. No longer tossed about by every word or every glance. When the impulse rises, you see it. You hold it. And you choose. This is freedom at its root. Second, your relationships grow steadier. Most conflicts are born from reactions, not reasons. Harsh words spoken too quickly. Judgments made too soon. When you respond, you cut off the fuel of conflict. You bring calm where others bring fire. You create stability where others create drama. And people begin to trust you because they know you are not carried away by storms. Third, your work improves. Impulses make for sloppy decisions. They waste time. They cloud judgment. A person who responds brings clarity. He waits for the right moment. She acts from principle, not panic. In the workplace, such a mind is rare. And because it is rare, it becomes valuable. Calm under pressure is not just a virtue. It is a strength that advances careers and builds influence. Fourth, your inner life becomes lighter. How many regrets are born from reaction? The words you cannot take back, the anger that outlasts its cause, the decision that seemed urgent but proved unwise. Responding spares you from much of this weight. When you pause, you give yourself the gift of perspective, and perspective leaves less room for regret. Your mind becomes a quieter place, not because life is easy, but because you are not multiplying your own burdens. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You always own the option of having no opinion. Remember that. You do not need to judge everything. You do not need to rush to answer every provocation. Silence itself can be a response, and often it is the wisest one. The rewards of responding are not dramatic. They do not draw applause. They will not trend on a screen, but they transform the quality of your days. They turn chaos into clarity. They turn conflict into peace. They turn weakness into strength. To respond is to live as one who is free, and freedom is reward enough." The Stoic challenge. Reaction is natural. It is written into the body. It is older than thought. But maturity is not about living by what is natural. It is about shaping nature with discipline. Children react. Adults respond. And the wise turn every reaction into a lesson. This is the challenge. Not to erase your feelings. Not to pretend you are stone. But to recognize that between impulse and action, there is space. And in that space lies the power to choose. Every irritation is a chance to train your mind if you choose the pause. Every delay is a weight you can lift, building strength. Every insult is a test of whether you will hand your peace to another or hold it as your own. You do not need to win every battle today. You need only one pause. One moment where you could have reacted, but you did not. One breath where you chose stillness instead of fire. That single victory proves the mind can be trained, and once it can be trained, it can be mastered. So, take the challenge. This week, watch yourself. Look for the moment you are provoked. See the impulse as it rises, and instead of surrendering, delay. Pause. Ask, what response serves my values? Then, act from that answer. This practice is quiet. No one else may notice, but you will. And over time, the world will too. They will see someone harder to shake, someone calmer under pressure, someone free. Remember the truth. The Stoic does not aim to be without feeling. He aims to be without chains. So let the world provoke you. Let life test you, and let each test become training. For the one who learns to respond, not react, becomes unshakable.